We are headed to the general store at Pine Grove Furnace, home of the half-gallon challenge, to get our half-gallon of ice cream and eat all of it. And we just happen to be here on a Saturday. The half-gallon challenge is only open on Saturday and Sunday.
And it's freezing.
And it's freezing. It is freezing. They have 3 half-gallons left. And there are 2 of us.
That's all we need.
That's all we need. So I'm gonna do vanilla, you're gonna do cookies and cream, so a maple walnut is left for the next southbounder who wants to give this challenge a try.
4 more days, so we got here just in time. Yeah.
Well, all right, let's get it. Okay, so we're doing the half-gallon challenge. This is a traditional halfway point thing, which is funny because we're not actually quite to the halfway point phase
It's
yet.
close enough.
So, but it's close enough. So we said that we were going to do a halfway point Q&A while we do this, and mostly it's to distract us from the fact that we have to eat all of this ice cream, and then apparently we also have to eat an additional pint of ice cream. So we'll see how this goes.
We gotta hike 17 miles after this too.
So let's take a look at some questions and eat some ice cream.
It's 9:34 in the morning.
9:30 in the morning.
How do you say that name?
I don't know. Mimi Koza on Instagram. Okay, so the question is, do you find going to the bathroom hard on the trail? No. Next.
It's uncomfortably easy to go to the bathroom on the trail.
So this thing, your body has this instinctual knowledge that when you're outside, the world is your bathroom. So when you have to go to the bathroom, you don't get very much warning. So no, it's really not that hard, but it can be uncomfortable and feel unsanitary. So, also, I used to have to take my pack off and squat to pee. I don't do that anymore. I learned how to just like kind of scooch my shorts over and pee standing up. So that has made going to the bathroom a lot easier on the trail. So yeah, we're starting with TMI, guys. This is great. Mimi Koza on Instagram also asked us, what is your favorite treat?
Sorry?
I wouldn't really say it's a treat because I carry it with me at all times.
That's where we're headed.
But most people call it a treat. Chips Ahoy cookies.
So my favorite treat on trail, I just recently discovered it, gummy worms. I didn't realize that I liked gummy worms that much, but they had Halloween themed ones at a store that we resupplied, and Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday of all time. So I saw Halloween gummy worms and said, absolutely, I need to buy those. And now I think I'm gonna have gummy worms in all of my resupplies. Pleasant Fiction on Instagram asked us the same question, what are your favorite and least favorite foods on trail? So we'll go ahead and just go least favorite since we just talked about our favorite.
My least favorite food is tuna. The last tuna pack I had, I literally choked down the last few bites of it, and I was like, I don't know if I can ever do this again. It sucks. Tuna sucks. Actually, tuna's great, but tuna packets suck.
So mine is a super unpopular answer, but I do not like Nora's pasticides at all. Not even a little bit. Yeah.
I literally eat one of those every single day for dinner.
I don't like them at all. So I eat ramen for dinner every single night. Sometimes, once in a while, I buy mashed potatoes, but most of the time I eat ramen. I never get tired of it. So I guess that you could put that up on my favorite foods. But yeah, least favorite, Nora's pesticides. Big ol' thumbs down. So K Ernest 1988 on Instagram asked us, how much money would you recommend saving up for a couple to hike? This is 100% dependent upon you and your lifestyle. So, I mean, if you're just a dirt squirrel that loves being on trail and you never want to go into town and all you do is pop into resupply, like, you'll probably only need like $800 a month. But if you are like us and you want to get a room once in a while and wash your pack in a bathtub and do laundry and shower every 5 days, you probably need more, like $1,000 to $1,200 a month per person.
I would definitely say $1,200 a month per person.
Mm-hmm.
We budgeted for $1,000 a month, and
we're a little over budget.
We're a little over budget. You just got to be a little smart about it sometimes. But the thing about hiking with a couple is, you know, you want to get a hotel room, you want to have some privacy. Sometimes, like, you'll go out to dinner for a date and stuff like that, rather than just going to McDonald's. Yeah.
So it's completely dependent. I don't know how long it takes you to, because we're slow. It took us 3 months to do half of the trail. So, you know, if you're going to take 4 months to do the whole thing, like, you'll need less. So There's really not a straight answer, but just kind of think about you as people and your lifestyle and how you want to live on the trail, how much time it's going to take you, and kind of gauge it based on that. Jessa Harris on Instagram wants to know, what are the pros and cons of going Sobo?
I have one answer that is a pro and a con, and it's lack of people. So it's a pro because going Nobo, 6,000 people start in a month and a half. That's a lot of people. So you're constantly fighting for shelter space, for tent space. So that's a pro, I guess, but it's also a con because as we're going south, we're seeing less and less and less people. So it gets kind of lonely sometimes, I guess. You wish you see more. You'll see like section hikers and stuff like that, but it's not quite the same. So if there was just a couple more people that we saw every once in a while, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's a con.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that, too, the cons of going Sobo is that a lot of the trail staple things are closed by the time you get there. So the Half Gallon Challenge, for example, is only open for 4 more days. So we're lucky that we made it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer. But, I mean...
everything's out of season.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want, like, the manufactured... AT experience where you get to do all of these things that are staples of the AT, or if you just want to go out and enjoy the nature and actually walk the trail, so again, it kind of just depends on what you want out of your experience. But I still, honestly, if we had to go back and choose the direction that we would go, I'd still choose Sobo.
If I was doing it by myself, I might choose Nobo, but putting it together,
Sobo's
definitely
great.
choose Sobo.
Yeah. And another con, it's freaking cold, but that's because we're slow.
Well, going Nobo, you also start in the cold, and hike
yeah.
to the warmth. Going Sobo, you start in the warmth and hike to the cold. So
Yeah. So I guess the nice thing about that too is that you get your trail legs and you're strong before you get all of your thermals and your winter gear, so you don't have to start with a heavier pack, which is nice. Because I didn't really notice when I got all my thermals sent to me and stuff, my pack didn't really feel that much
my
heavier.
packs are definitely heavier.
Aronoth on, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry, on Instagram asked us, who are Mason and Cassidy outside of the trail? And what provoked the decision to hike the trail? I am a 23-year-old graduate of Florida State University. I want to go to grad school to become a professor. I'm actually applying for grad school on trail. I'm a cat lady. I love cats. I'm a musician, vocalist. I don't play anything, but I sing and kind of dabble in, I don't play anything well, I guess. But music is really important to me. I listen to music all the time on the trail. I'm really goofy and sarcastic and
Definitely goofy.
yeah, super goofy.
Well, that's both of us.
Yeah.
That's why we work so well together. So
that's me. And so what provoked the decision for me was that I actually, I didn't know anything about the AT before we decided to do it at all. He came home from work, because we've been together for 3.5 years. So he came home from work and was talking to me about a blog that he'd been reading about somebody who had been hiking that had hiked the Appalachian Trail, Nobo and Sobo. And he just came home and was talking about it so much, over a couple of weeks, and finally I was like, is this something you'd actually want to do? And he's like, I don't know, maybe someday. And I was like, well, let's just do it, man. So we were going to quit our jobs anyway and move to Colorado because we were not happy where we were living. So it just kind of, things just happened to fall into place. So it was really a timing thing. It wasn't that it was a bucket list thing for either of us. It was just that we were bored and unhappy, and this seemed like a good break to take, I guess.
obviously, my name is Mason. I'm also a graduate of Florida State University. I got my degree in finance. I had a financial job starting before this. I wore a suit and tie to work every single day before coming out here. And then
He used beard balm to keep his beard nice.
I know, I was actually allowed to have a beard at work, which is super nice, but I was all trimmed and proper and stuff. But outside of work, I love trap shooting. I'm a competitive trap shooter. That's my biggest hobby. I'm a pretty big mountain biker. I love outdoor stuff. We went to the parks as much as possible. Anything outdoors, we would love to do. I am big into, I guess you could call it wheeling. I don't know, I just bought an FJ Cruiser because we're going to move to Colorado and I want to be able to get a 4x4 vehicle and take it out on truck trails and stuff like that. I love dogs, like cats. That's okay.
As long as he likes cats,
yeah,
it's fine.
That's okay. I love movies, actually. I'm a really big movie person. I just kind of realized that about myself on the trail. Because I watch a movie, and I talk about it for days, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm a really big movie person. Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
trap shooting?
Okay, so we have friends right here. She asked what trap shooting is.
Yeah, friends, guys.
She asked what trap shooting is. You know how it's clay bird shooting. So like they'll throw. I say pull, they throw the disc,
Oh,
and I
okay.
shoot it. Yeah, I'm competitive at that. What provoked me to hike the trail. I was actually gonna say her. She literally said to me, "I'm doing this with or without you," and I said, "Well, you're not doing it alone." So here we are, halfway through this trail,
Eating a half-gallon of ice cream.
eating a half gallon of ice cream.
Oh, my best friend in the whole wide world, aside from him, asked me, Sherry, she asked me, what is the most rewarding discovery you've made on the hike thus far? This is a hard question. Probably that I'm capable of a lot more than I thought I was. There have been plenty of days that I'm like, screw this, I want to quit. I want to be home. I don't want to do this anymore. And it's day 101 and I'm still out here. So I think just like the fact that I'm able to persevere through things, especially when I'm miserable, has been pretty rewarding. My confidence is getting kind of a boost for that one.
I realized that I was taking life too serious, and that I was miserable because of it. So I stopped caring as much, and it's been great. It's been great, and not like caring as in like, you know, I don't care about a job. I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. No, I'm not gonna be considerate to anybody else. Not like that at all. I'm going to cherish the little things. You know, just like I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, that's good.
I'm not gonna take life so seriously. Yeah.
Life is short. Have fun.
Yeah. Enjoy
Do dumb
it.
stuff.
Enjoy
Eat
it.
half-gallons of ice cream.
Exactly.
Our friend hiker Dan asked us, what has been your scariest moment on trail? And so we haven't had a whole lot of like super scary moments, but I want to say that the one that I was thinking about, I had one day, actually in this last vlog that we just uploaded, I had like a shin strain or something. It was like when I flexed my foot, I would have like just a shooting pain all the way up, and it hurt so much that I stepped down on it one time and had to, like, I fell. I had to get off my leg that quickly. So it was it was really scary for me because I thought that I had actually seriously injured myself. It was to the point where I couldn't hike anymore that day. We had to set up camp pretty much right where we were. So that was pretty scary because I was like, you know, not only was I thinking, oh crap, the hike might be over, I was like, now we have the logistics of plane tickets home and like, you know, what are we going to do for jobs? And, you know, it was just kind of like this flurry of emotions that happened right away. So that was scary. But it turned out to be fine. I slept it off. The next morning it was completely fine. So, but I did get compression sleeves for my shins now just to be safe.
For me, I'm about to get really personal here. Very personal.
Oh no.
So everything out on the trail is not hunky-dory all the time. Things aren't always perfect. Shit happens. And you get kind of mad at each other sometimes.
Oh,
One time, we had a pretty big argument. And it was... It was really upsetting. It was really, really upsetting. I had no idea what was going to happen after. And, you know, in terms of us and this trail and stuff. And that was just the most terrifying moment on the trail. And probably in a long time. It was really scary because I had no idea what was going to happen. Because, you know, you're out here 24/7 and things just aren't always perfect. So you have to learn how to fight, or
learn how to fight.
you have to learn how to work through things together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and which we're very good at, which is a great characteristic of our relationship.
But yeah.
But just every once in a while, things don't always work out like you expect them to. So yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen between us. So it was like the most terrifying part of my hike so far.
We like just for a little context, we got into an argument and I walked off and I left him at a shelter by himself. and we never hike separately. Like, I mean, we can get like, you know, maybe a tenth of a mile away from each other, but we're pretty much hiking together all the time. So for me to just like leave him and like try and actually leave him behind was out of character. And I don't really know what was going through my head. I don't know what my plan was. You know, I just wanted to just like, I don't know, just get away from him for a minute, I guess. So we were both kind of like, you know, is this it? Like, is this so? But it wasn't. It was fine. We talked about it. And this is a good segue into some of the other things we're going to talk about, but not quite yet. Hiker Dan also wants to know, what is your favorite wildlife that you've seen?
Ooh, we've seen bears now.
We have seen bears now.
But my favorite wildlife is the porcupines.
You guys heard what a angry porcupine sounds like?
Not yet.
Can I play this?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
weird on your?
Sure.
No.
You can do that.
Okay, you guys can talk while I pull it up.
So yeah, the porcupines are my favorite too. We had one that was walking down the trail one time, and we were like, hey bud, you need to like move because we're on the trail. I have a video of this too. And he starts trying to run. And if you've ever seen a porcupine run, it is the funniest thing.
The back legs kind of hop up and down. The front legs are like, you know, like this, and the back legs are like this.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
So yeah, the porcupines.
She got an angry porcupine here.
Angry porcupine sounds.
What?
It sounds like a little baby.
Yeah, it does. That's an angry porcupine. Is that like yelling at you or something?
Yeah, all night long.
Wow.
Oh man.
That's cool.
That's so cool. Okay, I think it's Nikki Rhea on Instagram wants to know, how do you feel that vlogging for the trek has affected your AT experience, and have other people on the trail been adverse to vlogging? Asking because we've thought about applying to vlog. This is a really good question. I love this question, and the reason is because I have a love-hate relationship with vlogging. So obviously I'm super grateful to the Trek for allowing us to use their platform to share experiences, but it is a lot of work. Vlogging is a lot of work. You have to remember to take videos all the time and then cut them together and edit them. And sometimes it's frustrating because, you know, I'll be in a hostel with other hikers where I want to hang out and talk to people, but I can't because I have to edit video. So I definitely feel like I miss some of the traditional hiking experience because I'm spending that time on editing video or vlogging. But in the same vein, like, I have this amazing video log of our trip that I wouldn't otherwise have. So the Trek keeps me accountable in creating those, and I will so appreciate them when our trip is over. So I think that if you're thinking about applying to vlog, I mean, go ahead and do it, because the thing is, like, it's not a contract. You don't have to. You know, if you start doing it and you decide that it's just too much work, it's not for you, you can definitely stop doing it. But I will say it is a lot of work, but I think it's definitely going to pay off in the end when we have like hours of edited, nice, cut together video of our trip.
Like she said, it does take a while. So remember, like, where's the next vlog?
I'm
We're
working on
it. Yeah.
So we got a couple of serious questions, and I saved these for the end because, you know, serious. Okay, so Aaranath on Instagram wants to know, what does it mean to live with BPD so long and far away from home, and what is a bad day like? So just kind of as a quick recap, you guys know my trail name is Borderline. It's because we're hiking for borderline personality disorder awareness. I've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, or BPD, 2 years ago. And so that's kind of, if you want to learn more about that, you can go to our website, hiketheborderline.com. But so what does it mean to live with BPD so long and far away from home? Well, this is an interesting question because I don't really have a home, really. Nowhere really feels like home for me. I mean, after I went to college, my family all kind of dispersed and went different places, and we moved to Ohio for a year and didn't really like it that much, and so then we came straight to the trail. So for me, it's not really, I don't really have a homesickness because there's not really a home for me to go back to. So it's really no different living with BPD out here than it is at home, because, you know, I felt like such a nomad anyway. But what a bad day is like is
That we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
That's a bad day.
That was a bad day. And that was actually, that argument that we had was in part caused, you know, just by relationship stuff, but also in part caused by me having an emotional episode. So a bad day for me is a day where, because a big piece of BPD is not being able to regulate your emotions. So I have a logical part of my brain that tells me, you know, that I'm overreacting, that things are not such a big deal. But bad days are days where I'm just not hearing that part of myself, where I'm just not listening to it, and I'm just getting into spirals. So that particular day where we had kind of an argument, I was in this spiral where I was like, I'm alone out here, like, you know, nobody knows where I am, nobody cares about me, and I just kind of like, I sunk. And so, you know, I was kind of in this place where I just felt like dismal and depressed, and so that's kind of what bad days look like. It's just when that logical piece of me that's saying, no, you're overreacting, you know, you have a supportive partner, you know, you have people that would answer if you gave a phone call, you know, kind of thing, when I'm just not hearing that kind of stuff. So and nothing really causes it. I mean, just some days I just can't handle things as well as other days. Amy on Facebook wants to know, how have you managed your borderline, and have you or Longshanks noticed any change in your behavior, either good or bad? So I'm gonna let you answer that first.
Good. Definitely.
Good?
Definitely noticed some good change. A lot of good change.
Can you give any examples that aren't like way too personal?
So sometimes when she has, it's called an episode, I guess. Since we got on trail, she's been really self-aware of what's going on in her mind, and you know, it's really, really nice to see, like almost like inspirational, because I'm like, oh my god, how are you being so introspective right now? I can't even realize what I'm doing right now. I don't even know.
Because I overthink everything.
Yeah, she's yeah, but it works out for you.
So
yeah.
good?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good behavior and also just like little things she'll think about, and she's like, do I want, almost like I can kind of tell in her head, she's like, do I want to do this because I want to do it, or because it's the logical thing to do? So basically, is she using emotional reasoning or logical reasoning? And it just, that's a good change, rather than just being like, you know, kind of washed over with these emotions that you don't even know what's going on.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's been really sweet lately. It's been awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So to answer the first part of that question, how have you managed your borderline? No differently than I did previously. The only difference is now, like, I have so much time to think about things all the time. You know, we're walking. So I have a chance to be self-aware and introspective, and I think about things a lot more. So managing it, really, I've just been focusing on being self-aware and trying to realize, you know, when something is because of, you know, this series of bad habits that I've learned, or if, you know, it's really, I don't know, the right thing to do. Actually, Aeronaut asked us a couple of follow-up questions in a message that was kind of related to that too, about goal setting. And he asked us if, you know, about being hard on myself if we don't reach goals. There a couple vlogs back, there was a day that I really wanted to do 20 miles, and we just didn't make it. It just wasn't going to happen, and I was so hard on myself that night. We set up camp, and I was just like depressed, and I just wanted to go straight to bed. And I think that, you know, definitely not putting so much pressure on goals is a really smart idea for people with BPD, especially when you're doing something like this, because, you know, everything is so dynamic. Things are changing all the time. Your body feels differently every day. Terrain can be harder or easier than you expected. Water sources can be farther or closer than you thought. You know, just there's so many factors all at one time, you know, that you can't hang your hat on the fact that, like, I am going to do this many miles every day, you know. And when you set hard goals like that for yourself, and you already have, you know, a really hard time with failure, it's just a recipe for disaster. So I definitely do go easy on myself when it comes to goal setting, just because I am so hard on myself already because of the BPD. So yeah, I definitely feel like I've made some really good progress, because the whole reason I wanted to come out here was to what I called untying knots. I just felt like I had all of these things kind of wrapped up in like layers and layers and layers of like different emotional garbage. So I came out here and I was sort of able to start peeling things off layer by layer and looking at them and, kind of starting to work through some of these things that were continuously affecting me. So definitely feel like I've made some positive change. But I will say that being someone with BPD in a continuously changing environment is very difficult. But the thing is, it's difficult for everybody. So,
boy, it's not easy.
it's difficult for everybody. So I'm sure there's a certain amount of it that's related to the disorder and a certain amount of it that's just through hiking is fucking hard. So I don't know if I've like explained any of that well or not, but I tried. But we can talk more about this too, like at the end of our hike when, I've really truly been immersed in things for 6 months, and I can be a little bit more personal then, but there's still some things that are in the works that I'm, kind of chewing through that I don't really want to go into quite yet.
Yeah, and if we get enough feedback, we could totally do this all over again at the end of our hike.
Sans the ice cream because this is already very difficult.
I'm dying. How much do you have left?
About half.
I'm about half too. Yeah. We have to eat a whole other pint after this too.
I'm gonna die. We can do it. That's all the questions that we got.
That's
so
all the questions.
Unless
Good
you
questions,
just
though.
want to like talk about stuff, that's it.
I actually wanted to
God.
bring up one thing. It's incredible how your mood is not affected by what's going on around you. It just is what it is, basically. It is what it is. You can't have any expectations. You can't plan. I don't know. You wake up and you feel one way that day. On a beautiful day, you're going to have a bad day. On a rainy day, you might have a great day. It just depends.
It just depends.
Every day is different.
Yeah.
Every day is different.
I personally, especially went through like a 2-week period where all I thought about was quitting. Like all I thought about was the fact that like I could be home watching Netflix on the couch, not having to walk in the freaking rain for days on end. And just recently, I feel like in the last week or maybe 2 weeks, I've been.
Since we started hiking with Kid.
It's all Kid.
Go say hi.
Kid turned our lives around. Come say hi. I can't move the camera because it's stuck.
This is Kid.
Kid.
Hi, I'm Kid.
Kid's our hiking partner.
I am.
It took a while to kind of like get that attitude turned around, because sometimes you have days on end where you just want to quit and that's all you want to do. And then sometimes like it was like right after that negative phase, I looked around one day and I was like, I have nowhere to be. I have nothing to be stressed about. Like this is, a once in a lifetime experience. I'm so lucky to be here.
Have you guys ever felt that way?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've had 2 days that I even called my parents one day and I said, hey, can you find a bus station or a rental car place? And I was like, I need to go home.
Wow.
And
Really?
I slept it off, went to a hotel, and I was on trail the next day.
Cool.
Just never ever quit while you're wet, cold, and you don't have clean laundry.
Never quit on a
I
bad
love
day.
the
is always
clean
hard.
laundry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never do that.
The clean laundry makes a huge difference for
It
me.
Clean,
definitely
it does.
did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kid's like, no, I've been having a blast.
There have been days where I've like considered like, why am I doing this? Do I want to keep doing it? But I've never been like, this is so hard, I want to quit.
No. Quitting has never been a viable option. We've basically been like, I can think about it, I can dream about it, but we're never going to do it. So
Well, actually, I never once wanted to quit. I just didn't want to hike.
yeah.
So,
It's like, God damn it, I need a break.
yeah, pretty much. It's incredible. Because we're hiking, well, we get 1 day off every 2 weeks, maybe. Usually it's like 1 day off every 3 weeks. And you're hiking 10 hours a day every single day. It's freaking hard, man. I'm getting really full on a hot bike.
Me too. I feel disgusting.
I think I can finish this, but another pint. on top of
Another
it.
pint. Oh, I'm going to die. I don't think I could do it. We'll see. I love you.
Love you too. I got ice cream on my mustache. I can tell because it came off on her.
Oh my god. Shenanigans. Alright, Sweets is tapping out.
I can't live up to my name.
This is how much you're leaving. And this is where I'm at, and I'm still going. So
I'm gonna get sick if I keep eating this. I already don't feel well.
The camera's shaking because it's so cold out here. I
It's so
can't keep it straight. I'm shivering.
I'm so cold. I'm shivering.
You've got ice cream in your mustache. You see it? Perfect.
Taking it off.
Oh,
All right.
No, that's fresh.
I
just read a
finished
story
the
that
first
there's
part.
More bacteria in a man's beard than there is on a whole dog. It was an interesting story.
Not my beard.
Because of the ice cream, see?
Ew.
All right. I did it. Apparently, my lips are still really purple. I did it! Yay!
These are our
All
friends.
right. These are our friends. We have friends. Okay, half gallon challenge. Crushed. Done. Complete. I'm probably gonna feel horrible later, but I feel pretty good right now. So fingers crossed that lasts.